And I would like to have them take this next part of the award ceremony.
Schacherer has been working at Awana for 25 years. So I thought I'd challenge people to say one word that describes him. And trust me, this is a challenge. How would you describe Jeff Schacherer in one word?
Describe Jeff Schacherer in one word?
Thank you.
I don't know if you can.
Just one word. I'm gonna go with gregarious. He is likable, lovable, and a true gentleman, so congratulations.
Jeff Schacherer in one word. That is a little tough. I would say actually the first thing that came into mind was hysterical. I think he's really funny, but he's also very compassionate, and he takes great care of our donors, and I just think he's terrific. And also, he's the only other person outside of my family that I know that spells his last name with an E-R and an E-R on the end, like me.
When I think of one word to describe Jeff Schacherer, I think of showman. He's been involved in so many skits and plays and videos for us over the years. I'll never forget when he was Thornton Cucumber III, the perfect Awana leader.
The Perfect Awana Club by Thornton Cucumber the Third. 'Twas a half hour before club, and all through the church grounds, commanders and directors were running like greyhounds, setting up things and getting prepared, 'cause by 15 minutes till, all leaders would be there.
Anniversary, Jeff. I'm so glad that I could work with you for 22 years already. I would say if I had to choose one word to describe Jeff Schacherer, I would say it's a mishmash of words saying that you are courageously loyal to your friends and to the Lord and to your family.
This is for you, Jeff. This is for you. Jeff's been a really good friend. In 1993, Sandy and I were attending a conference in Tampa, Florida, and I walked down to the front row. I'd done a lot of the organization of that conference, and I'd never met this guy that was coming from headquarters. I wasn't working for Awana. I was just a ministry team member back then. And here on the front row was this guy named Jeff Schacherer. And he had this vest on. Actually, I got this out of Jeff's closet yesterday while he was gone. And I want you to know that that commander uniform you saw him in on the theater, it's in his closet. There's a lot of things in Jeff's closet. But anyway, that was the first time I got to meet Jeff. And really, that was 25 years ago, Jeff, in case you add up the numbers. That was 25 years ago. And Awana, we became part of Awana about 2 years later. And Jeff and I have had the privilege now of working together literally just about all those years. He has been doing what he's been doing, and we've been able to serve beside him. And I really did wear this vest because Jeff's been trying to get me to wear this every time I go see a donor with him, because he likes to wear it. And at first I sort of contributed to his really poor taste in clothing. Not just the vest, by the way, but I'm not going to go into all that. But then I realized one time that I was right, because Sandy and I were on a call with him, and we were down visiting a couple, wonderful couple, and this guy came out. He had the exact same shirt as Jeff had on. Exact same shirt. And Jeff was really excited. The only thing is, this guy was like 90. And Jeff is my age. And when I looked at both their shirts, I'm not sure who had more dribble stains on their shirt. And at that time, I said, okay, I'm not going to try and dress like Jeff. But today, I made an exception to that, Jeff. I wanted to dress for you today, put on a tie. We can go see a donor if you want in this. But Sandy also had some thoughts she wanted to share, and then I'm going to close with a story.
So a story about Jeff. We have done a lot of traveling over the years, whether it's domestic here or international. And one of the stories that stuck out that will probably be with me forever is, and I'm not going to share the front end of the story, but we were out in Europe, and it was Brian and I and Jeff. And can I just say that I was the designated grown-up in the group. Yes, whenever Jeff and Brian were together, I was needed. And we were on a vision trip, and we had a family with us. And so we get to the Marriott, really nice hotel in Prague, Czech Republic. And so we're pretty excited because we don't normally go to places like that. We're usually in YMCAs or wherever. And so he was putting us up for this family in a very nice place. So he gets, check in, family, gives them a key. They're getting their luggage, and he turns to Brian and I, and he says, well, our room is ready. Did I tell you we're just going to get one room because it's really expensive? And so I thought it would be okay if the three of us bunked up together. And I'm laughing. This, like you, this is hilarious. Until I realized he wasn't joking. So the three of us for a few days bunked up. The first thing ran through my mind is, what pajamas did I bring? But anyway, it was all good. It was all good. But anyway, so I say all that to say one more short story, and then I'll tie it together. I know our time is coming to an end, but we used to go a lot to this event called Summit, which was Varsity USA before that, and it was our high school ministry national event. And so we were one time in Fort Worth, Dallas, and every year Art would go. And so, Jeff's job was to accompany Art. And many times, Jeff would use that opportunity to bring one of his daughters. And so we find them in the grocery store one time, Brian and I, and they're over in the frozen food section. And I can't even remember if it was Natalie or Catherine, but Jeff is explaining this gourmet meal that his daughter's about to pick out. And so we asked him, Jeff, what are you doing? He says, well, we're picking out dinner. And he's so excited. Isn't this great? And Brian looks over and says, Jeff, it's a frozen dinner. Take your daughter to Wendy's or someplace. He was talking about the Salisbury steak and the this and that, painting a beautiful picture, and it was a frozen dinner. And so, but the beauty about Jeff that I so appreciate is two things in both of these stories. Is the first one would be that he is such a steward of finances. And so whether that was all the Schacherer family could afford on this trip, he shared the value of money and what it meant to his daughter. And I really appreciate that. And whether it was money from the Schacherer family or money being spent from Awana, God's money, Jeff has always been such a faithful steward of that, and I really appreciate that about Jeff. The second thing is his value for people. He took the opportunity when he was on a ministry trip to bring one of his daughters and invest in them, and he spent good quality time and really shared ministry, how to serve, how to love people, and just that he would take care of Art, and that his daughters got to watch that year after year after year, the care and investment he made in Art and Winnie, and that just spoke volumes to his family. And so whether it is donors, whether it is Art and his family, whether it's his own family, or even here as co-workers, he invests in people and he gives totally of himself. So with all the fun and funny stories that we've experienced with Jeff. Jeff, thank you so much for your faithfulness to the Lord, your faithfulness to Art Rohrheim, your faithfulness to your family, and everybody here at Awana. Thank you.
Amen. Come on up, Jeff. I actually have many, many stories that I would love to tell all of you if you want to have coffee together. I'm only limited by the fact that this is being recorded. So I'm not going to share some of those stories, but I would be happy to share them with you when we're not being recorded. Some of them are really funny, and you would really like to hear them. So I'll be happy to share them with you. So I will tell you one little one. This one I can tell you. This one, this is back in the days, this is way back when we had no way to get money into certain countries except carry it in. And I was carrying a lot of money. And I actually wore these pants for Jeff because these were the kind of pants, you see this zipper right here? Okay, we had pants like this, only they were hidden zippers. And we kept money in the hidden zippers. Just ask Steve Majeski, he'll tell you all about it. And it was a lot of money. And you could not, in some of these countries, you couldn't claim the money like you normally would. One, it was too much, and two, literally, you would just get mugged when you got outside the airport, so you just couldn't. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get through the customs with this money, and not realizing I had brought the best weapon I could have ever brought, because I stood in the back, Jeff and Sandy went to a line, and I waited to see where there just wasn't a lot of commotion. All of a sudden, Jeff starts creating all this commotion. And it was all because he couldn't understand that the customs agent was just simply asking him, do you have any other money? He wanted to know if he was declaring any money. And so when Jeff figured out, did you have any other money, Jeff thought that that meant that if he had a few pennies or nickels somewhere in his backpack, he should get them out and let him count them. So then the customs agent starts going through everything of Jeff's, literally. And I'm like, this is beautiful. And I snuck over here to this side over here and went right through and was standing outside waiting for them to finish going through all of Jeff's bags. He was the best secret weapon we ever had. Jeff, I just want to tell you, a lot of kids were reached because you helped me get that money through. So that was really good. I'm grateful for that. But Jeff, my one word is relationship. And I really do. I have watched you. You have taught me how to be a good relationship builder. You have relationships across this country that people, they don't see you because you're Awana. They see you because you're Jeff Schacherer. And they love you. And being able to celebrate 25 years with you is just amazing. And we're grateful that we had the opportunity. And we do have a lot of fun together. But you have been a tremendous blessing to this ministry. And God has used you. And I know you love kids all around the world. And you've had a big impact in reaching a whole lot of them. And we love you and thank you for 25 years of service.
I don't get to talk. I prepared some.